What's up, y'all? In this video, I wanted to talk about a little something different. Now, in this video, I want to talk about Batman, specifically the Arkham Batman games. These games are some of my favorite games of all time. These games made my childhood. These games were amazing. You probably hear that all the time. You probably hear like everyone being, "This is my childhood." You know, because I loved playing these games back. Like, these games are like stupid old. Like, these are some old games. Like, these over 10-year-old games. Like 2009. Asylum came out in 2009. I'm pretty sure. So that's just like, Jesus. Like, that's old. Arkham Asylum is really old. 2009 game, but I do love all of these games. Now, a game that I hear a lot of people hate on is not Origins. Origins I liked. If I were to rank all of the Arkham games, City's at the top, then it's Asylum, then it's probably Origins, and then it's Arkham Knight. Now, that's not to say I did not like Arkham Knight. I loved Arkham Knight, but I hear a lot of other people trashing it. Now, for me, it is the worst. Now, just because it's the worst doesn't mean it's a bad game. It's still an amazing game, and I still love Arkham Knight. I still come back to it because there was so much content put into Arkham Knight that a lot of people, I feel like, overlook a little bit. Now, I don't even have to explain why I think Asylum or City was good. Now, Origins, I used to think that Origins was the worst one. Now, that was like just my opinion back then. I did not really hate Origins. I just didn't like it as much. But now I came to realize, like, okay, Origins is, I liked playing it a little more than Knight. And that's just because, like, Knight does have some problems, I'm not gonna lie. But I don't think it's trash. It does do some stuff right. Origins is amazing too, but Knight isn't. Don't sleep on Knight, you know. Don't sleep on Arkham Knight. One thing I think that they did well is the Scarecrow. I thought the Scarecrow, like, yes, he's kind of a bruh, and he kind of plays a little bit of second fiddle to Arkham Knight. I just don't see it that way, because when I first saw Scarecrow in Arkham Asylum, the dude was, like, played by someone different, too. He was more comical. That's not bad. That's just a different take on him. I didn't hate that, but I think Scarecrow and Knight just felt threatening and menacing. They made this scrawny man who weighs like 140 pounds feel threatening. And I love the way he looks too, a little more than Asylum's Scarecrow. Now, Scarecrow in Asylum was clean. I am not even gonna lie. The stuff he did with the game, fake crashing, and like everything he did, even the small details of like when lightning strikes, Batman turns back into Scarecrow to symbolize his fear of becoming the people that he puts in the asylum. I think that's amazing. I love Arkham Asylum Scarecrow, but I think I like Arkham Knight Scarecrow a little more. Just because, one, his look is a lot cooler. I do like the way he looks. He just looks more menacing, and I like how his jacket looks kind of like a bomb jacket in a way. Now that's kind of like, whoa, like, what is this guy talking about? Like, I think that just makes it him feel a little more like kind of scary. That's just me though. And another thing I like about Arkham Knight is that, like, Asylum, City, like all the other Arkham games do go pretty far with like how like scary it can be and how like jarring and shocking the stuff that you see in there can be, you know. But Knight definitely goes the full mile. Knight definitely, because it's got an M rating. I'm pretty sure it's the only one with the M rating, and that's for good reason, because the stuff in Knight that we see is pretty messed up. There's some pretty just like fucked up stuff we see in Arkham Knight all the time. Another thing people complain about Arkham Knight is the Arkham Knight himself. Now, the Arkham Knight himself, I don't hate him. I don't hate him, and I don't not like him because it was predictable. I didn't have a problem with it being predictable and it being obviously Jason Todd. I didn't have a problem with that. I think that's fine. You can be predictable as long as you do it in a good way, you know. Something can be predictable as long as it's executed in a really good way. That's how I see it. So I don't think Arkham Knight's twist was the problem with it. I just felt like his character was just not that bad. I did kind of like seeing the Arkham Knight, and I kind of liked the scar on Jason's face, and I liked when he shot Batman in the stomach. Like, I thought he was kind of cool. He does have some problems, but like, I sound like a nerd, but like, I didn't not like Arkham Knight. I did think he was cool. Now this is not because like, oh, I just you like Red Hood, or you like you're just a Jason Todd fanboy, you know. I'm not saying he doesn't have problems, kind of, but like, I don't think he's that bad. I don't think the Arkham Knight ruins the game for me. Yes, he may be like the sole, like, basically main antagonist other than Scarecrow in this game, but I think he doesn't ruin it because I don't think he was that bad. You know, he does have problems, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's that bad. He doesn't ruin the game for me. One problem I do have with the game is I do not like fear takedown, multi takedowns. I think that just like kind of ruins the game. Every time I see the option, I never do it because I think that in a way that just like that meets the whole purpose of this game sometimes. Like, yes, it's cool, just like boom, 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 Batman's new suit, he's flexible, he's crazy, he's faster, but I don't like that, you know. I like, and that's just a small nitpick. I'm just nitpicking at this point. Another thing that bothers me a little bit was the Batmobile. The Batmobile sections weren't that bad. They weren't like, oh man, like this is ridiculous, but there's just so many of them. Like, I didn't hate them. They weren't like, it was just because it was so many. There was just too much Batmobile. I think what Rocksteady should have done was just make it so like the Batmobile is there. We can use it. Sometimes there's a Batmobile mission. Like the Arkham Knight, fighting him in the Batmobile is not. I did not like that. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't like having to fight the Arkham Knight in the Batmobile. When we finally get to fight him hand to hand, kind of like, I thought that was cool. We finally get to fight him hand to hand, and fighting Deathstroke in the Batmobile was so lame. I hated that so much because his fight was so amazing in Origins, and I remember a YouTuber saying, oh, like, I think Rocksteady didn't want to like try to one up what WE Montreal did in Origins with Deathstroke's fight, but it's just like, oh man, you don't have to try to one up them or like try to like even disrespect it, whatever, you know. I think that's a little goofy, but still, you could have at least tried something new, tried something cool. Why'd it have to, like, Deathstroke having a tank battle? I felt like Deathstroke is a hand-to-hand guy, you know. I thought that's his thing. He shoots guns and he's really good up close against Batman. Why are we fighting in a tank against him? I thought that was so lame. But there are some really cool side quests in Arkham Knight. Like the Riddler one, like, I did not like the Riddler trophies. I never did, like, I never collected them, to be honest. I never cared that much for the Riddler trophies. But in this game, it definitely gives me the most motivation to collect the Riddler trophies because of Catwoman. Now, because, you know, Catwoman, I'm trying to save Catwoman, you know what I mean? I want to see what happens with her and Bruce at the very end, you know. That's what I think that's a pretty good motivation. That's a pretty good motivation. And I also do like the DLC in this game. This game comes with a plethora of DLC. Robin, Batgirl, like a bunch of DLC. Harley Quinn. I think they definitely went above and beyond with the extra stuff they put in this game. The cosmetics. You know, you can literally... The Batmobile, like, racetracks are amazing. I think this game put a lot of extra content that make me keep coming back to this game to keep playing more and more because there's so much to offer, especially with Pig, dude. The Pig. Now, Pig, I loved Pig in this game because, one, normally we don't really see his face, and in the comics I remember him not liking, like, I remember him more into dance routines than opera, but I thought opera was a really nice change that they had with Pig. I liked Pig in this game. that was my first interaction ever seeing him. I'm pretty sure that was my first time. But I liked how they made him have like an opera obsession instead of the dance routine, because the dance routine is just like it maybe could have worked, but I think opera definitely fits Pig a little more. And I do like the Red Hood mission too, where you kill Black Mask. I mean, come on now, like that's clean. That's clean. And I like the new more mobility of the grappling hook in this game as well. You know, how you can like boost or whatever. That's awesome. That's a really nice change. I think this game's gadgets are kind of cool. The combat in this game, I like what they did, because they didn't like change everything and like try to make it super unique. Like, it's basically the same free flow combat that's amazing. It's just you can do a lot more things. And they took out the shock gloves, the electrocutioner gloves from Origins, because those were just cheese. Those were genuinely just cheese. But I do like what this game's combat was, where you can pick up weapons, you can use other things, you can pick people back up. I think this game definitely is cool. And I do like using the gadgets in like quickfire in combat as well, with the grappling hook, the explosive gel, the batarangs. I think a lot of people just like usually just look at it as just hand to hand. I actually like using the I'm not trying to be like, oh, I use the gadgets so I play the game better than you. Like, I'm not trying to say that, you know. I'm not gonna be a dick about it, but you know, I'm just saying, like, I do enjoy using the gadgets. Maybe not as much as Spider-Man per se using the gadgets, but I'm not gonna lie, I love Spider-Man PS4 and the Miles game, but I prefer the Arkham games thus far. Spider-Man 2 hasn't came out yet, so I don't know. And Gotham Knights was not the best, but I do prefer the Arkham games over the Spider-Man game. But that might just be my bias talking. That could just be like, oh, you just let your nostalgic bias cloud your judgment. That could be it, but it just, the Arkham Knight, I feel, just gets a lot of hate, and it's funny because I say I like Origins, now I like Origins more than Knight, so now Knight is the worst, but I just at least want to talk about, like, I just like Knight as a game, you know, I just like Batman Arkham Knight as a game. It's not my favorite, it's probably my least favorite, you know, that's whatever, you know. That doesn't mean it's trash, though. That doesn't mean it's trash. I do love this game. It holds a special place in my heart. The ending is amazing. The cutscenes, everything in this game just feels awesome. How far it goes in terms of just like how brutal it can be is amazing. This is an amazing game. I love this game so much. Hush. I remember Hush is like, I like the comic Hush. In this game, it was just like a whatever kind of thing to me. I do love this game, though. I think some of the side missions definitely spruce it up a little bit, you know? There's so much content to unpack in this game. But that's going to be it for this video. I'm done fanboying for this game, about this game, you know? I'm done. But City's still my favorite. Don't want to end it up like that. City's still my favorite, but that's going to be it for this video, y'all. Peace.